The kickflip, one of the most attractive skateboard tricks for beginners to learn, and for good reasons. It looks extremely sick and at the same time not that impossible to learn. Ever since I was little, I always wanted to do the coolest and hardest skateboard tricks. And truth is that some of them, or most of them, are just too hard that I just ended up giving up before I'd even tried. But the kickflip in particular always looked within reach if I just were willing to put in the time and effort needed to actually learn it. And so I did. Or I at least thought I did. After days of trying to land my first kickflip, I couldn't seem to get the board high enough into the air to be even able to flip it. And the only time that I even got close was when I got so frustrated that I just popped the skateboard as high as I could into the air and just kicked it meters away with my other foot. And that often resulted in me landing on the ground head first. But fortunately I did wear a helmet. It turns out that I didn't have the guts to really go for it. Every attempt just ended up being half-assed and me failing miserably. So I therefore never learned how to actually do it the proper way. And because of that, this is something that I want to revisit so I can once and for all learn how to land a kickflip. I would not classify myself as a complete beginner. I'm not starting from scratch. I have some experience, but just not a lot. I can travel from point A to point B and do an ollie every now and then, but that's about it. And doing skateboard tricks is not my strongest side when it comes to skateboarding. But in the spirit of my previous failed attempts, I wanted to challenge myself to find out how long it would take me to finally land a kickflip. Starting now.
so close. Yes. Yes. But everyone knows that if you just do something once, you haven't actually learned it. So let's do it 3 times. I count that as a one. That's one. 2 to go. Oh. Okay. Oh, no. And I'm just too tired to do anything, and now yeah, just ending up jumping and doing half-assed ollies. So I'm going to take a break, take some water, and then try again. Try to do the 2 last attempts to finally complete this challenge. I'm so done. I think we're going to have to continue this one another time. Shit.
I'm now back home, and as you probably could see, the challenge didn't end the way that I wanted it to. While trying to do the 2 last kickflips to complete the challenge, I unfortunately sprained my ankle. The board ended up landing on its side, and I came down with all my weight, and yeah, I twisted my ankle. And when I came home, I had to bandage it and cool it down, and now it actually does feel a lot better, so that's a good sign. come to the conclusion that I'm going to end this video here, because in some way I did complete the challenge. I know I didn't do the 2 last kickflips, but I will be making a follow-up video where I prove to you that I have actually learned to do the kickflip, and not that it was just some one-time thing. But this whole thing just proves how important it is to wear protective gear while doing something that you're not pretty familiar with. In a worst case scenario, I could have ended up hitting my head on the concrete, but fortunately I did not do that, and I did wear a helmet. And not only for the injury and the pain part, but when you use protective gear, you get a lot more confidence doing, for example, the kickflip. If I hadn't wore the helmet, I would have been a lot more paranoid. So it just gives you a huge confidence boost while doing something like this, and it did help me a lot. To be completely honest, doing the kickflip was a lot harder than I've ever expected, and it's extremely rewarding to land your first kickflip after a ton of practice. Yes! Last but most importantly, it takes time. Hours, days, or even months to learn how to do the kickflip, and be prepared for a lot of frustration and irritation. And the most effective way to learn the kickflip is by trial and error. After a while you get the feel and you know what you're supposed to do in order to get a little closer to the final result, which is landing a kickflip. So it's a process and it takes a lot of time and effort, but it's without a doubt worth it. So don't be afraid to fail. Use it as a way to improve and get better. And after a while you will get there. Before I'm going to cool down my ankle once again with an ice bag, I wanted to thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.